the one about Easy Rollins, the one with Lynn and Miguel, that failed. Well, it's just, I mean, things, working in Hollywood, most things don't work. It's better if you don't know about them, because they don't work, It's like, if you start planning to pay your rent, anybody in Hollywood, not just HBO, then you're in trouble. Then, your landlord is going to be, sorely disappointed. Things happen, whatever. I don't even know, people make decisions. I know this, people tell you what the decision they made, and they also give you a reason. And the one thing you know for sure, that reason isn't what happened. Bob Dylan line says, one thing we knew about Jack Porter is that his real name wasn't Jack Porter. Just like it's the only thing you know. And that's okay. Yes.
What made you decide, was there a moment that made you say, I want to bring Easy back to his fans? Or was there, what was the process?
I would never make that decision.
Oh.
As to be me writing, I wanted to write Easy. And I thought, wow, I can do this, and people still want to read them, so that's nice. And so, like, I'm going to, I'll start doing it again. It's just, there's not, there's not like, the thing about art in general, it's not really a conscious action. It seems like it, because if you see a painting, or you read a book, or listen to some music, it makes sense, But the way you come to it isn't like that, and the way you work it out isn't like that. At some point or another, I realized I was thinking about it, and this first 2 chapters, while reading them, it's like, how do I get Easy from being dead? And because in a way he is dead, and he feels like he's dead, and that's what this book is about. The book is about death into life, right? It's really, there's a mystery. The mystery is confounding enough. I hope it makes sense. But the point is Easy's move back into life, which is a very, I think, important thing for me. Yeah. Yes.
If this became a movie by chance, would Denzel still be able to play Easy?
I'm going to answer your question, grammatically, right? Yes, he would be able to, I'm sure.
Everybody was thinking that.
He can, I doubt if he would do it, I doubt that. Yes?
I was wondering, is it your training, your teaching, how you pay such attention to detail? You could, if a roach right across that floor, you could describe him to the T, and you take a page to do it. I just enjoy, everything you meet up on. You describe it so explicitly. Was that your training, or how did you develop that style?
And the truth is, I don't really do that. That's a really interesting thing that you're saying. The job of a writer, because, really, if any one person was to say, I want you to describe everything in this room, just want you to do that, it would be tens of thousands of very boring pages. You'd be writing this, and then this person's wearing white pants, and this person has stripes, and then there's some dust on here, and there's a little mark on seat number 224. It's like it goes on and on and on forever. But what you do is you do it well enough for the person to imagine more. Like people come up to me and say, hey, that corner where Easy met Mouse? And I said, yeah. He goes, I was on that corner. I said, that's interesting. Interesting that you did. But thank you. There's a skill involved, but it's not exactly the one you're saying. And I don't know what it is, and it's hard to teach somebody how to write. I had that book. Yes?
Are Easy's children going to be in this book, and if they are, what age are they?
Jesus is, like 20, 21, and he's with Benita Flagg, Mouse's ex-girlfriend. Everybody's Mouse's ex-girlfriend. and Feather is 12, and she's definitely in it. He's definitely, the kids are there, and the dog is there, and everybody's there. Bonnie is there, everybody's there. Yes?
In terms of Devil in the Blue Dress and the movie, the characters, Don Cheadle and Denzel, well, moving up to some of the last books with the characters in them, seems like you changed Don Cheadle's skin tone.
No, not at all. If you read the first book, the skin tone's always the same. They changed it. I'm a good actor. Moss has always been light skinned and light eyed, you know. I mean, it's just like, you know. But they wanted to go with, you know, Carl wanted to go with Don. I'm happy. He's a great actor.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Okay. I wouldn't do that. Yes.
Is there ever easy seeking or coming across the wife from Devil in the Blue Dress that ran off with?
Well, that'll happen one day. Edna. His daughter's name is Edna. I forgot the wife's name for the moment, but yeah, he'll run across them again. And another part of that question is, you know, one day I was sitting with my father, and we had a family album, and there were pictures of my father from the age of 20 to the age of 70. And you know, when they used to take pictures of black people, you know, 60, 70 years ago, they would lighten you up. And so my father looked almost white in the first pictures, and he looked very, very, very dark, like he was in the last pictures. And I said, Dad, look, you know, over the years you turned black. It's a very funny thing. Yes, sir.
On that mouse thing, until you said that, I thought he was real dark too. I'm so stupid. I'm thinking you made a mistake. When you said the reason I'm saying that is when I saw the movie, I just jumped up in my chair and said, "That's Mouse."
Well, you can.
In essence,
Don's a
that
good
guy
actor.
was Mouse.
Don's a good actor. I mean, there's no question about that. Don's a wonderful actor. But I didn't make a mistake.
No, I know.
Is there a plan to give Mouse
His own book? No.
Yes.
No. Mouse is a sociopath, you know. You know, in this book, you know, Easy has just died, right? And Mouse is visiting him. He's going to ask him something. Easy's on his deathbed and he said, "Oh man, you know, I had that trouble too. I had this girlfriend once. She had me burglarize this place with her cousin. And then, you know, when we got the money, she said, you know, come here and hug me. And when he did, the man shot me in the back. Next thing I know, I was waking up and dirt was falling down around me. I was in a shallow grave. So they had killed me. You know, like, that's Mouse. And that's what Mouse tells stories. You know, it wouldn't be interesting to read as a novel. You know, because, you know, it's just like his, you know, what he does is, you know, it's just what he does, you know. Like, you know, he can't, there are no nuances in Mouse's life. You know, like, they're just either I'm going to kill you, I'm going to fuck you, or, you know, I'm going to leave you alone. That's it. You know, there's no other choice. You know, I might rob you. I might rob you. I've been thinking about it, you know. But there's no morality, and you kind of need that from music, you know. Yes? Anything else? Yes?
I'm sorry, I must have missed the connection between the titles in the book and the colors.
Yeah. What's the connection? There's no connection. They just all have colors.
It just is.
Yeah, it just is. That's it. It just is. You were just scratching, you weren't asking questions. You were thinking about asking
I was
questions.
thinking.
What were you thinking? You're not going to tell me. I like that.
I was just
It's so interesting. Don't you want to know what you Yes, sir.
Breaking away from Easy for 1 minute, you know, I really liked Socrates Sport Law. You ever plan on maybe going back on over him a little bit?
Well, you know, and you've read The Right Mistake, right? The most recent one.
No.
Most recent one is The Right Mistake. Have you read that book?
No.
Okay, so first you have to read that, then you can ask me the question. I want to make sure, because you know, a lot of times people don't know. Right now, I'm working, you know, with some energy behind it. Lawrence Fishburne wants to do a series, and so we're working trying to get that series done. So we're going to do that. I write a book about Socrates about every 5 years. You know, it takes 5 years for me to get it. You know, because Socrates is like, you know, I have to figure out the whole philosophical bend that's going on. You know, but you should read The Right Mistake. That's a, you know, I saw another question somewhere. Yes, ma'am. You know, you.
Oh, my question, and I love your writings and your characters, and one person who just intrigued me was, his name just left me, Christmas Black.
Oh yeah, Christmas Black, yeah.
Will he have a life of his own?
Not, he won't have a book of his own, but he'll be like with Easy.
He'll be there.
Yeah, Christmas Black is cool, you know,
Yeah.
and then Easter Dawn,
Yes.
you know, and I like him. Yeah, I like those, you know, that the holiday family. And after holidays, it's time to get new holidays. Yes.
I just wanted to make a statement. There might be a lot of women in this audience who feel this way. I kind of, fell for Easy.
Mm-hmm.
He was so manly and so take charge. So even when he didn't know what he was going to do in the next 5 minutes, he looked like he knew what he was going to do. But I just felt in my heart, he's in such pain. And as you're talking about this new book, I feel maybe there might be a chance for him to heal. You know how they say the child within that needs to heal. I mean, I'm getting this feeling. It's just a statement, or maybe a hope for something that might happen for him.
Well, I'd like to hear that. That makes me pleased, and I'm sure Easy would like that. Yes.
I have a question about 47.
Uh-huh.
Why did you put the science fiction with the Conqueror John story?
Why did I put science fiction with mythology? I don't know. They seem to fit.
With mythology.
Yeah, well, Conqueror John is. I mean, he's like the spirit of Africa who comes, to free the slaves in their hearts and in their minds. And so it wasn't a big jump, to go from mythology to science fiction. And for kids, it seemed to be kind of and kids that are not so young, it seemed like an easy way to do that. Yeah. Yes.
What about Paris and Philly?
I don't know. Yeah, I want to write about Paris and Philly. I just have to find the right time. I've been doing a lot of work. I wrote an ebook called Parishioner, and I a little bit want to work on that, and then then I'm working on it Easy, and I certainly don't want to leave Lynn and McGill and so I want to start doing another one of those. And I have another. It's kind of like a literary novel. Black women. It's very interesting. In the beginning there were like no black men, like in any of my readings. Because black men were saying we don't read fiction. They were saying that they don't read fiction because they said there's nothing true in it. But the truth is there are no true images of black men in it, and that's why they weren't reading it. But slowly that's kind of grown, and black men kind of read my books and say, well, yeah, I could like that, but I know it's easy and not. It's like the opposite of what she was saying. But it takes so much time. And black women will say to me, well, how come you don't write about a woman detective? Now, the truth is that there are very few people who write about black male heroes, right? Black male protagonists, as in Richard Wright, James Baldwin. They're protagonists. They're not heroes. They're not people you want to be like or want to represent you in any way. And I haven't, really, I write about women, but like not just a simple thing. But I have a book coming out in 8 months called Debbie Doesn't Do It Anymore. It's a black woman, Debbie is. And I think that women will stop asking me after that. Never mind, I'll go back to something more. You stay over there, Yes.
Hi, good evening. I'm a writer, a fairly new writer myself, and I was introduced to you earlier on in college. And you were in this humongous group of people like Alice Walker, and I found you to be pretty amazing. And it's an honor to be here today.
Well, thank you.
You're inspiring me because I'm in the process of doing all kinds of books. I've done all kinds of books, and your writing, I'm really inspired by you because your writings are actually in schools in African American literature, in colleges, and I just think you're amazing.
Well, thank you. I like that. One time invited by the editor of the African American quarterly magazine, Callaloo, to do a performance, but a reading, but he forgot that he invited me. And so when I got there was 4 of us to do readings, you know, and but I was the only one who didn't have somebody to introduce them because he had gone to Brazil, and so they said, we don't know what to do. Mostly we don't know anything about you. And, you know, I hadn't published a book or anything. So I said, that's okay, I'll introduce myself. You know, and I had such a great time. I came up, so well, I'm sitting up here to introduce Walter Mosley. I said, you know, he tries really hard to write, and he has some strengths. You know, he doesn't really understand all of the techniques that are available, and it was very fun. And then I said, and I also am Walter Mosley. It was very fun to do. I can find things wrong with me, but I won't. I'll just accept it. Yes.
You have just amazing character depictions, and one of my favorites is Ptolemy Gray from The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray. And I was wondering what led to you writing that book, and also, will you be writing the earlier days of Ptolemy Gray or bringing him back?
No, bringing him back, man. He's old and dead. He might not be dead, but he's old, you know, and he's like really demented. But, you know, my mother, for quite really a long, you know, decreasing, you know, arc of like dementia, she was going through it, and I had to learn to speak the language of dementia if I wanted to help my mother, because I realized that the institutions really, you know, like so many institutions, they don't like the people they serve. So they were saying, well, you just tell her what to do. I said, well, that's my mother. I said, well, she doesn't know what she's doing anymore. I said, I didn't know what I was doing when I was 2, but she didn't throw me out in the street. And so I learned what she wanted, and I learned how to communicate with her until I finally, you know, kind of worked out, a life for her that would be good, you know, good enough. And once I knew how to speak that language, that's when I decided to, you know, to write, you know, about Ptolemy, you know, how the way that he has to come to ideas and thoughts, and, you know, and then that love story with the girl was just, you know, with Robin was just like, you know, so wonderful. Sam Jackson and Gabriel Garcia Marquez's son, the director, are doing a movie for HBO for Ptolemy Gray. So that'll be fun. There's a lot of dementia in his family, he said. And it's very fun. I've got a lot of dementia in my family. Okay, Sam. That'll be fun. Yes. Oh, wait a second. You didn't ask? No, it's okay. I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
When they make a movie out of your book, are you the screenwriter?
Sometimes, not always. I didn't write Devil. I did write Always Outnumbered. There's a thing that I wrote a story for Atlantic magazine that Robert Downey's company wants to make into a series called Letter to a Dead Man. A letter from a dead man. I'm going to be on the team. I'm probably not going to write the original story. You know, yeah, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. You know, it's good for your like insurance. You know, you have a good retirement program. Writers, so it's nice to work every once in a while too. You get more money. It's also fun to figure it out. I like writing. Did you have another question?
One more question.
That's good.
What does your day consist of? I mean, how many
24 hours.
What
does your day consist of? 24 hours and you get 36. No, you know, I wake up in the morning and I write for 3 hours. And then after I finish writing, I also draw. You know, I've been drawing for 49 years. I never tell anybody, I never show anybody, because I have no real talent. You know, I'm not interested in three-point perspective, and I'm interested in the human body, but only as it's next to me in a bed. I'm not really interested in studying it, you know. And so, but I'm going to have a show in New York. June and July, the Student Center has these outside windows, and my paintings are going to be on those windows for June and July. So if you happen to be in New York, you go to the Student Center, you walk around and see my painting. You don't even have to go inside anywhere, you know. So it's good.